The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
And we begin with an update out of Seguin tonight, where city officials say that gas service has been restored to more than 3,900 customers. That's about 88% of the customers who have been without that service since Tuesday. CenterPoint Energy says the outage was caused by another company damaging a pipeline. That damage was repaired yesterday.
But we know that hundreds of crews had to go door to door to homes and businesses in that area to try and reconnect that gas. And company officials say they had 70% of them restored overnight. And today they were going back to customers who weren't at home the first go around. Company officials say that everyone should be back in service by tomorrow.
The money in your pocket, it is worth less and less right now. Labor Department statistics released today show that inflation jumped to 7.9% in February when compared to a year ago. That's the biggest jump in 40 years.
The thing is, that doesn't even include the skyrocketing prices that we've seen at the pump this month. So how could that pinch on everyone's paychecks affect one of San Antonio's key industries, which is tourism? Garrett Berger takes a look.
With the dollar stretched thinner and thinner, how many people are going to spend theirs here coming for vacation? Inflation is 7.9% between this February and last, but it's not across the board. Food outside the home is up 6.8%, airfares 12.7%, gasoline 38%, and lodging, like hotels and motels, is up 29%. All things that could affect tourism. But if they are, Visit San Antonio's board chairman and the general manager of the Hilton Palacio del Rio isn't seeing any dramatic effects yet. It's too soon, he thinks, to know how inflation will affect tourism here. But he's optimistic.
Well, based on past history, we do very, very well when the economy takes dives and goes the other way, shall we say.
As for the big rise in hotel rates over last year, he points out that it's a big jump up from a big dip in the pandemic.
2019 was our best year ever for our market. So we're not quite yet there, but we're getting closer and closer every month.
And both he and a hotel industry consultant point to an opposing force at play.
I have no doubt that it'll affect it some, but I think the pent-up demand will outweigh the inflation. People are still going to want to get out. They want to take their kids to do stuff.
I think they're weighing the two, and they're saying we can afford it this time, right? We can afford to go out now. It may be different 6 months from now.
San Antonio is already largely an in-state destination, and on at least one occasion we found, inflation worked in the city's favor.
We really planned to go to Savannah, Georgia, but with gas prices, we are like, we'll go somewhere really close to home.
But whether that becomes a trend remains to be seen.
Now, we talked to a Trinity economics professor about this as well, and he had a recommendation for any San Antonians out there looking to plan a trip of their own. Now, he suggests that it might be better to buy a plane ticket sooner rather than later, as you saw those prices going up, and with fuel costs going up even more, he thinks that's the only direction they're going. Live on the Riverwalk, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thank you, Garrett. Prices, the most obvious surging right now, that's at the gas pump. Prices have soared 60 cents this week to nearly $4 a gallon. These are record prices for us. You are feeling it, so are many small businesses as well. Those that depend heavily on fleets or deliveries are really hit hard. John De Leon makes a living running his catering business. He and his employees drive a lot of miles delivering their food.
On the vans, it was like 35. Now it's 80, 90 bucks to fill up. And then my truck, I didn't even fill up yesterday, but I had like 2/3 and it cost me $102.
On top of gas, he's paying a lot more for beef, poultry, and other commodities. He's already had to raise his prices, but hopes he doesn't have to again for fear of scaring off customers.
Now new at 6, San Antonio Police Department, the task force there is looking for help tracking down a suspect that they say robbed a liquor store and then carjacked someone for his getaway vehicle. This was back in February. It happened along the 3100 block of Southeast Military on the 22nd of February. Now investigators say that this man walked in, aggressively pointed a gun at the clerk, grabbed money from the register. Outside the store, he stole a car at gunpoint to make his getaway. So if anybody recognizes that man, if you know who he is, detectives want to hear from you, and you can call them at the number that you see on your screen. It's 210-207-0300.
San Antonio police also looking for this guy who they say ripped off a downtown convenience store last month. According to police, he walked into that store in the 100 block of Jefferson near Travis Park. Police tell us he pulled out a knife and demanded money from an employee. When he got that cash, he ran away. Information that leads to his arrest could be worth a cash reward. Call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP.
There's so much hurt that people are feeling in a West Side neighborhood over a 68-year-old man who was killed in a house fire. This happened on a street called Grove Hill near Culebra Road. Katrina Weber spoke with one of several people who tried to save him.
Firefighters exit this home in the 5100 block of Grove Hill Street, loaded down with gear, but with even heavier hearts. They were not able to save it or a man trapped inside when it went up in flames shortly before midnight. Before they arrived, neighbors also had tried.
We heard him asking for help. We heard him twice. We tried to get in, we tried.
Jenna Garza says she first had noticed heavy smoke across the street and called 911. Then with her husband and others, she went into rescue mode, running to help two women struggling to get out through the garage and trying to reach the trapped man.
We couldn't get back in to get him, and the smoke was too much for me and my neighbor.
Once fire crews put out the flames, they found the 68-year-old dead in a front room. His neighbors regret that they weren't able to do more. Garza says the heavy smoke was only part of the challenge. She says what really slowed down this rescue were those burglar bars that made it impossible for them to get inside.
I don't feel bad. I just wish that there were a couple more minutes or a couple more seconds. I feel like that would have made the utmost difference.
It seems their efforts, though, did save two other lives. The women who they helped, the man's 94-year-old mother and 76-year-old sister, were checked out at a hospital and released. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
People living at a southeast side home having to find another place to stay after a late night fire there. Firefighters called to the 700 block of Utopia Lane around 11 o'clock last night. When they got there, they say heavy flames were coming from the right side of the home. They didn't have much trouble knocking down those flames, but they did tell us the damage to the house was severe. 3 people living there made it out safely. No one here was hurt, and no word on what caused that fire.
A man now dead following a wrong-way crash on the northeast side. That was early this morning. Happened along FM 78 near Lakeview Drive around 2:30. According to police, the victim was driving in the wrong lane when he collided with a woman who was driving in the other direction. The unidentified man was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, the woman was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Let's take a look at traffic out there right now. This is the TransGuide camera at I-35 at Burbank. You can see the trouble there. It's on the service road, and it looks like the shoulder of the off-ramp here on I-35. There's an overturned vehicle that police officers, first responders there, they're trying to get that corrected, of course, respond to any potential injuries, but it's definitely snarling traffic there on the shoulder. Looks like behind that, even on the main lanes of I-35. So something to watch out for at I-35 and Burbank. The International Space Station has led to some of the greatest discoveries in space, but now Russia's invasion of Ukraine is threatening peace on the ISS. We spoke to one of NASA's most decorated astronauts about the future of the space station and the crew on board. RJ Marquez tells us her concerns with the current situation hundreds of miles above us.
Retired American astronaut Eileen Collins knows firsthand the importance of the International Space Station. Before settling in San Antonio, Colonel Collins was NASA's first female shuttle commander and led a mission to the ISS in July of 2005.
The astronauts and the cosmonauts love space exploration. We feel like we're above politics, and we feel like we have a bigger dream for humanity.
For more than 2 decades, the U.S. has worked with Russia to maintain the space station, but its future is now in doubt after Russia invaded Ukraine.
I think that NASA is talking about this now. Is probably pretty much all they're talking about, but I think we have to look at the whole spectrum.
Also in doubt is the return of an American astronaut who was set to return to Earth after nearly a year in space. Russia's space agency is now threatening to leave him behind. But despite the tensions on the ground, Collins is keeping faith the cosmonauts and NASA astronauts are still looking after one another.
I think they're probably getting along and working together just fine. I know that our engineers and our flight controllers and our managers are still working together. to keep the space station operating.
Collins also hopes the ISS can continue to be a beacon of space exploration and international cooperation.
Hope for the best in the future that something like space exploration can keep us together, keep us from being divided.
RG Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Now back on Earth, the outpouring of generosity has not stopped on behalf of war-torn Ukraine. The nonprofit Ukrainian San Antonio followed up its first successful drive collecting baby food and diapers with another one today. Now it was held at the same place, which is outside the Hilton Garden Inn at the Rim. This time, Ukrainian San Antonio has been collecting medical supplies with the help of nursing students at the University of the Incarnate Word. Now, as far as this event is concerned, volunteers are going to be out there through 8 p.m. tonight, but the nonprofit's saying, don't worry if you can't make it today because it's going to be back there every Thursday. A lot of people who came to help have family and friends in Ukraine.
And I just couldn't imagine if I couldn't do anything to help them. And I feel like this is just my little part in it that I'm contributing.
And there's a lot that we can do. You know, the Ukrainian San Antonio website has a lot of information on what people there need and how you can take part in this. Volunteers tonight are going to drive the truckload of supplies to Chicago where it will then get on a flight to Poland, where a Ukrainian relief agency will drive them into Ukraine for what could be the most dangerous part of the journey. But they say that at least the earlier donations of baby formula and diapers did make it through already.
Good news to hear about that. Of course, a beautiful day to hold an event like that, to encourage people to come out. Beautiful day to get out and do anything, especially when we know what's coming our way, Katie.
Yes, big changes coming our way within the next day or so. So I hope you're able to soak up the sunshine this afternoon. We made it up to 74 today, a 10-degree jump from where we were yesterday after a chilly start, a morning low of 36 elsewhere across South Central Texas. 76 your high today in Del Rio, 78 in Pleasanton, and 80 in Cotulla. This evening and tonight, the biggest change that you'll notice is a gradual increase in cloud cover. We're going to start to see some clouds move in from the south. Now, after midnight through the overnight hours, that's when skies become overcast and we'll start to see chances of mist, drizzle, and very light rain work into the forecast. Our big set of changes, though, gets here tomorrow morning. A cold front is moving through North Texas as we speak. It arrives in San Antonio right around 9 a.m. with cold and windy conditions, and this is what sets us up for the widespread freeze that is still on track to set in Friday night and Saturday morning. We'll talk more about what you can expect over the next few days in just a bit. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, and coming up tonight on the Night Beat, a Defenders update on the Medina Valley athletic director who failed a drug test when he applied for the job. Why one woman is saying that Lee Crisp got preferential treatment from the school district. Also, the rise in gas prices is affecting pretty much everyone right now, but especially delivery drivers. We're going to hear from drivers in San Antonio who are beginning to rethink their line of work. We're going to have all that and so much more tonight on the Night Beat.
New at 6, it is that time again. Our clocks will spring forward on Sunday. So what can losing an hour do to your health? Well, a lot for some people. Ursula Perry reports on the health consequences of daylight saving time and some ways that you can make this transition a little bit easier.
Skipping an hour ahead of spring for daylight saving time doesn't just change the time.
There's also a change in your sleep and in your circadian rhythm, and ultimately that has an effect on physical health as well as mental health.
In fact, a University of Michigan study found hospitals report a 24% spike in heart attack visits on the Monday following the loss of an hour for daylight saving time. Stroke rates also 8% higher the first 2 days after the time change. So how can you make springing forward a little easier on your health?
You can actually start shifting the times that you go to bed and the times you wake up by about 15 or 20 minutes per night.
Also expose yourself to sunlight in the morning because that will help your circadian rhythm more closely align to that change in sleep. And exercising at the right time can get your body ready for the transition. It's best to work out in the morning or early afternoon.
But avoid exercising right before bed, as that can wake you up a little bit during the time that you're going to want to be sleeping.
There have been efforts over the years here in Texas to eliminate these time shifts. A lot of people say they're antiquated since big parts of our economy is no longer based on when farms are doing a harvest. If you don't like them, there are places you can go. The U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Hawaii, and parts of Arizona do not practice daylight saving time. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
All right, now we're going to take a live look outside. Yeah, from Skies 12, a nice downtown shot right there where the skies just look so pretty and clear right now. I could just sit there and admire it. 72 degrees right now, and apparently we can enjoy this weather for just a little bit.
I hope you got a chance to get out and enjoy it today. Yeah. Coat free.
Yes.
Yes, a jacket and coats away. They got a couple days break this week, but they'll be put to use again tomorrow and through the weekend. Our mornings this weekend will be very cold with that widespread freeze in the forecast. Our afternoons cool, but not too shabby. So yeah, time for another wardrobe change, my friends. From the 70s this afternoon, short sleeves feels great out there, to jackets and coats tomorrow with our afternoon temperatures Friday in the 40s. Starting to pick up a bit more cloud cover. Even our shot here at the airport looking northwest is not looking quite as bright as it was a little earlier in the evening. We're picking up a few more clouds now, but it still feels real great out there with temperatures in the low to mid 70s. Our satellite picture is showing a deck of clouds trying to move in from the south. There's actually been a lot more cloud cover this afternoon, early this evening, down across places like Karnes County, B County, Goliad. And as a result, it's not quite as warm there. Temperatures are in the mid 60s, a little bit closer to the Gulf Coast thanks to that cloud cover. Meanwhile, those of us that have had a whole lot of sun all day today, temperatures still in the low to mid 70s, 74 in Hondo and 74 in Del Rio. Up in North Texas, especially the Panhandle, temperatures are starting to fall. We've got a cold front that looks like it's working its way through Midland, Abilene, even the DFW Metroplex. Currently behind the front, temperatures in the 40s from Wichita Falls to Lubbock and below freezing there in the Texas Panhandle in Amarillo. Not much precipitation to see with this cold front, and this front isn't going to do really anything for us in terms of rainfall. Now, it will bring us a few hours tomorrow morning with kind of damp, generally unpleasant conditions, overcast with mist, drizzle, and very light showers. I'll just be very upfront with you. Tomorrow's rainfall, when all is said and done, is likely going to add up to less than 1/10 of an inch of rain. So this is just going to be very light, kind of nuisance rain for us through mainly the morning hours as our cold front approaches. So through about 5 to 8 a.m., front will work through the hill country. It gets to San Antonio and the Highway 90 corridor roughly by about 9 a.m. Then it will continue to push south closer to lunchtime. After lunch, it's all the way down near the Gulf Coast and out of our hair. As we get into the afternoon, we'll be watching for clearing skies. Any chance for really light rain will essentially drop out of the forecast after lunchtime tomorrow. The biggest change is going to be the wind and the temperature drop. So let me walk you through your temperature timeline for Friday. Early risers. The biggest change you'll notice first part of the day tomorrow, that light rain, mist and drizzle, overcast conditions. Temperatures won't start to fall until mid to late morning when the cold front moves through. So by 9 a.m., that's when we'll start to see temperatures trend downward. By noon, we're in the low to mid 40s, and that's where we'll stay all through Friday afternoon, with temperatures eventually falling down below freezing overnight Friday into Saturday morning. Another big thing you'll notice beside the temperature change I mentioned, the winds. Our winds will begin to gust up to 40-45 miles per hour Friday afternoon through Friday evening. Overnight through Saturday morning, our wind speeds will let up, our skies will clear, the air will be very dry, and we've got just a much colder air mass moving in. All of this sets us up for the late season freeze that we've been warning you about all week long. The entire KSAT viewing area will see a freeze Friday night into Saturday morning, with the hill country mainly expected to see a hard freeze Friday night into Saturday. A good portion of the area should also anticipate a freeze Saturday night, Sunday morning. So if you've gone ahead and planted already, you're going to want to take steps to protect any sensitive vegetation that's already in the ground. Move those potted plants indoors if you can. Next week, much more pleasant weather. No more of these big temperature ups and downs. We'll be in the upper 70s and low 80s most of next week, guys.
All right. Thank you, Katie.
All right, let's talk about the Cole Cougars. They had a fantastic year last year, and they're trying to do it again now.
Yeah, back-to-back state titles is their desire, and they took another step towards that desire just a few minutes ago. When we come back, how did the Cougars make it to the state championship game again? We will show you. And battered and bleeding, but DeJounte still returns. Coming up. The Cole Cougars are looking to become back-to-back state champs, but first they'd have to get by Hitchcock in the Class 3A state semifinals at the Alamo Dome this afternoon. Cougars couldn't get off to a better start. Silas Livingston in the corner for the three to help Cole jump out to a 15-0 lead. Trey Blackmore knocks down the step-back three, and it's 19-5 after one. Dre Ray spins baseline for the layup, and the Cougars are up 28-13 at the half. Third quarter, Ray drops a hammer on this play. He drives down the lane, throws down that monster jam over two defenders. Cole up by 9 going into the fourth. The Bulldogs got close to the fourth, but the Cougars hit their free throws down the stretch and punched their ticket to the championship game Saturday, 53-49.
Came out fast, came out getting up, shooting really well. Then after that, the teams are going to get runs throughout the game. So, we just had to know how to battle back.
I think the experience that we had in the past has helped us a lot. Just playing in big games and big atmosphere, I felt like having that experience really helped us stay together and composed as a team.
All right, good luck to the Cougars on Saturday. Now we still have another game tonight. Bernie Champion taking on Mansfield Timberview. And then tomorrow, Bernie against Wichita Falls at 3. Spurs head coach Greg Popovich had to wait another night to become the all-time winningest coach in NBA history. That's after the Spurs failed to bring home the W last night against the Toronto Raptors. The first half was great for the Spurs as Keldon Johnson was scoring at will, 15 of his game-high 27 points coming in the first half. Right behind him was DeJounte Murray, 25 points, 12 assists, missing his 18th career triple-double by just one rebound. But the turning point of the game came in the third quarter, just under 7 minutes to play, when Murray, driving to the basket, knocked heads with Raptors' Khem Birch. Both left the court bleeding into towels. Birch would not return, but later Murray appeared back on the court. By then it was too late. The Raptors had built back up their lead behind Fred VanVleet's 26 points in the 119-104 victory, holding the Spurs just 43 points in the second half. What did Keldon think of Murray getting back on the court to help his teammates?
He's a true leader. He do whatever it takes for the best thing for the team and for us to win. So, it didn't surprise me when I seen him come back. I expected him to come back. That's DeJounte.
All right, when DeJounte appeared for his post-game interview, he looked like he had been in a battle with the top of his forehead bandaged. No stitches, he said. No concussion protocol.
It looked like he tried to bite me. It happens. It's the NBA. I'm good. When I left, it was a tie game. I come back, it's 10-point lead, 10, 11-point lead. So you gotta fight. It's the NBA. Next man up. I believe we tried, but things happened. It happened, and we tried.
All right, here's the matchup next up. It'll be Utah will be live at the AT&T Center starting tomorrow at 5.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Former UTSA cornerback Tariq Woolen may be just what the Cowboys need to improve their defensive backfield with Trayvon Diggs. Diggs is coming off of his best season ever as a pro in just his second year in the NFL career. Starting 16 of 16 games he played in, he came up with a career-high 11 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. Now Woolen may be just the guy to pair with Trayvon after Tariq's incredible performance at the Combine in Indianapolis. His 6'4", 205-pound corner ran the 40 in 4.26 seconds, had a vertical leap of 42 inches, and a 92 athleticism score. That's almost unheard of. Right now, he looks to be a second-round pick, according to SB Nation. That might be a problem when it comes to the Cowboys because he may be gone by their 56 overall pick. And here's the bonus for Tariq. He's from Fort Worth, so he'd get to play in front of his family. If for some reason he got on the Cowboys, that would be awesome.
I was just watching like, wow, he's good. Okay, yeah. Very impressive.
He killed it, yes.
Thanks, Greg. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. The latest round of talks between Russia and Ukraine ending without progress today. The meeting held in Turkey failed to establish a 24-hour ceasefire or humanitarian corridor for civilians. Those talks happened at the same time that U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris met with Polish officials in Warsaw to assure America's commitment to its NATO allies, and as the U.S. House of Representatives passed a massive bill that includes billions of dollars in aid to Ukraine. Chris Wynn reports from Washington.
The latest round of high-level talks between Russia and Ukraine ended Thursday with no progress.
I came here with a humanitarian purpose, to walk out from the meeting with the decision to arrange a humanitarian corridor in and from Mariupol. Unfortunately, Minister Lavrov was not in a position to commit himself to it.
A request for a 24-hour ceasefire was also shut down by Russia's foreign minister, who once again falsely claimed Russia was not attacking civilians.
We do not plan to attack other countries, and we did not attack Ukraine.
Ukraine continues to ask NATO to establish a no-fly zone over their country, a request NATO allies have resisted. It's a step many fear could spark a wider war, a war Ukraine says has already hit a global scale.
2 million of refugees in Europe. The nuclear threat, because Putin continues shelling the nuclear plants in Ukraine, which brings up a tremendous threat to the whole world.
Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris visited Poland to underscore America's commitment with its NATO ally after shutting down Poland's offer to get fighter jets to Ukraine. The U.S. also supplied 2 Patriot missiles batteries to Poland for defensive purposes.
The United States takes seriously that an attack against one is an attack against all.
In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn.
Millions of dollars in support pouring in from all over the world to help Ukraine amid the ongoing Russian invasion. Now, with so many resorting to Airbnb and cryptocurrency, that's to send immediate help to Ukrainians. But the conflict is also creating an opportunity for scammers to take advantage of your generosity. And as Alicia Barrera reports, now the Better Business Bureau is issuing a warning about charity scams.
The heartache of war in Ukraine has millions looking for ways to help, and the Better Business Bureau is urging you to stay vigilant.
Sadly, you see the flip side of humanitarianism, and those are the individuals that look at this particular type of situation and evaluate, how can I take advantage of it?
The Better Business Bureau issuing a warning for those looking to send aid abroad. Here are some tips from the BBB to avoid falling for a scam. Ask questions like, can the charity get to the impacted area? Is it experienced in providing emergency relief? And be on the lookout for red flags like exaggerated financial claims. Another red flag, fraudulent websites.
They'll set up a very similar sounding name to a charitable organization and change one letter or two, or transpose letters, or change the extension on a website.
Meanwhile, some people looking to help are getting creative and sending aid through crypto. The Ukrainian government has collected over $50 million in crypto assets, according to blockchain analytics firm Elliptic. The BBB says make sure you have an understanding of blockchain and crypto before sending money.
We've received some reports through Scam Tracker regarding scams involving cryptocurrency, so it is out there.
Others are sending aid through Airbnb, booking stays in Ukraine so that local hosts get quick payouts. The BBB says to make sure the stays you're booking are from legitimate local hosts. Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
Most restrictions are falling away as we move on from the Omicron surge, but the traveling mask mandate doesn't appear to be going anywhere, at least for now. How much longer that could be sticking around, still to come.
And we touched on this just a bit earlier, why tensions over Ukraine could spill over into the International Space Station. That story next at 6.
The war in Ukraine leading to a potential standoff in space. Russia's making comments regarding the safe return to Earth of an American astronaut who's on the International Space Station in response to crippling U.S. sanctions. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the story.
As Russia continues attacking Ukraine and in turn being met with sanctions by countries and private companies, 227 miles above Earth, the International Space Station, now in the crosshairs of potentially earth-shattering geopolitical tensions, comes as the Kremlin lashes out against American sanctions. The head of the Russian space agency, Dmitry Rogozin, posting this video on social media, threatening to abandon American astronaut Mark Vande Hei at the station. He's supposed to return home on a Russian ship in 3 weeks. Former NASA astronaut Scott Kelly saying he felt compelled to speak up.
I never thought I would ever hear anything so
outrageous.
The pair exchanging words on Twitter, Rogozin tweeting out another video of technicians covering up the U.S. and Japanese flags on a rocket, followed by this ominous threat, suggesting that without Russian help to move the ISS away from space junk, the ISS would crash into America or other countries.
I think it's just a crazy threat. It's not really based in reality. So we do have the ability to control the orbit of the space station independent from the Russian Space Agency. So I don't see that happen.
For the past 24 years, the U.S. and Russia have worked together building and maintaining the ISS. Earlier this week, after halting sales of a Russian-made engine used by the American Atlas rockets, Rogozin said the U.S. would need broomsticks to get to space. Overnight, SpaceX firing back as it launched its Falcon rocket, carrying satellites to orbit.
Time to let the American broomstick fly and hear the sounds of freedom. LD is go for launch.
Falcon 9, 7410.
And the big question now is whether Mark Vande Hei will be stranded in space if the Russians don't allow him aboard to return to Earth. NASA telling ABC News today that unless something changes, the plan is still for Mark Vande Hei to return as scheduled on March 30th. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Let's take a look outside with live cam. A little bit of time left to enjoy this beautiful day before winter returns, Katie.
Yes, winter is trying to make its last stand here in early to middle of March, and it is going to be much colder this time tomorrow than what we're being treated to currently. You may also notice here on our live cam shot a few more clouds around. News at 5, skies were clear on this view northwest toward the airport, and we're starting to pick up a few more clouds. That trend continues this evening. It was a great day today. 36 our morning low, cold, but we made it up to 74 this afternoon under some beautiful sunshine. Still in the low 70s at the airport. We'll fall into the 60s this evening with, as I mentioned, increasing clouds. Some chances of light rain early tomorrow, and then our temperatures tumble by lunchtime. I'll walk you through Friday's strong cold front coming up in just a bit.
All right, now let's talk about the buzz. As most of the COVID restrictions are being rolled back, it looks like one is going to be hanging out a little bit longer, and that is the mask mandate for travelers in the United States. That requirement currently set to expire on March 18th.
But federal officials say there will likely be an announcement about extending that for 30 more days. The mandate, one of the last remaining broad requirements for Americans to wear masks in public places. This applies to all mass transportation. That includes planes, trains, buses, and hubs like airports.
Now, scientists buzzing over the discovery of a new colorful species of fish that's hiding in the coral reefs off of the Maldives. The new species belongs to the Ross family, which consists of largely bright colored fish.
It's
Very
beautiful.
Pretty. Yes.
Yeah. Its scientific name honors the pink rose, the Maldivian national flower. Scientists say the colorful species can be found living anywhere from 131 to 229 feet below the ocean's surface.
Now, drivers in California see a lot of things on the highway, but a cow strolling down the road, yeah, kind of unusual even for them. The animal was drawing a lot of attention as it moseyed down the 210 freeway. Officials with several agencies responded to try and get that cow off the highway, and they managed to wrangle it onto an off-ramp.
Mosey is right. This guy is in no hurry.
Taking his time, man.
Something spooked it, and it ran back onto the freeway, though. After a while, they pinned the rogue bovine in a parking lot, but it wasn't before too long. It was on the move again, going up some stairs as workers tried to lasso the livestock. It tried to get through a fence to join another cow. Wranglers finally captured the cow. They now have to figure out where it came from so they can return it. You know, he's
all right.
just taking a
Just
stroll.
want some space, man. All right, 6:45, 71 degrees outside right now. And Katie, we've been talking about how the temperatures are going to get a lot colder, but we have this evening, we have tonight, and up until lunchtime tomorrow, right, if you want to enjoy.
Roughly lunchtime. If you're heading into the office tomorrow, when you get there in the morning, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, chances are temperatures will be right around 60, and you won't notice a whole lot of change other than maybe some mist and drizzle around. But by lunchtime, when you head out to grab lunch, That's when it will have turned colder, and it will also be starting to get pretty windy. So if you've got the KSAT Weather Authority app, you may have gotten a push notification or an alert about a wind advisory that will be in place tomorrow. This will be in place from noon Friday until midnight Saturday, so 12 a.m. Saturday. And this is essentially for the entirety of the area, all the counties here in TAN. This is because we're looking at wind gusts as high as 45 miles per hour at times Friday and Friday night. So it looks like these wind gusts will peak up to 45 miles per hour Friday afternoon through Friday night. And then our wind gusts will start to trend downward overnight into the pre-dawn hours of Saturday morning. That decrease in wind speeds, along with clearing skies late Friday night and the very dry air that will move in with this cold front, all of that together sets us up for the late season freeze that we have been talking about all week long, even since last weekend. Here's a look at low temperatures Saturday morning. The entire KSAT viewing area, all the way from the Hill Country down to Cotulla, even spots a little bit closer to the Gulf Coast there, Beeville, Goliad. You should expect a freeze Friday night into Saturday morning. Parts of the area, specifically the Hill Country and the southern Edwards Plateau, are likely to see a hard freeze for the longest amount of time Friday night into Saturday morning. This area could see up to 12 hours at or below freezing. So this part of the Hill Country, southern Edwards Plateau, it's going to be particularly important for you when you're taking your freeze prep tomorrow night to insulate or wrap the exposed plumbing pipes on your home, especially if you live out in the country or a more rural area. Again, Hill Country, southern Edwards Plateau, you could spend the longest time at or below freezing. That will be of more importance for you. Everyone should remember everything else, to bring the pets indoors, also to cover or bring in any sensitive vegetation. I know some folks already did a little bit of spring planting. This is sneaking up on us just a little bit, not even really sneaking up on us, but it's late in the season for a freeze. So you'll want to cover and protect that sensitive vegetation Friday night. And I would just leave it prepped all the way through the weekend, because we could see another freeze, maybe not as widespread across the whole area as we get into Sunday morning. Thankfully, looking ahead to next week, temperatures a bit more even keel. We'll warm back up into the upper 70s and low 80s next week. That's a bit more seasonable for this time of year. Currently 60s across the Hill Country, 71 Uvalde, 75 Cotulla. We do have some clouds trying to work in from the south. By late tonight, tomorrow morning, skies will be gray for everyone. There's our cold front. It has moved through far northwest Texas and the Panhandle, and it'll continue its southward trek tonight. Again, it gets to San Antonio in the Highway 90 corridor right about 9 o'clock in the morning. Up until then, we'll have areas of mist, drizzle, and some really light rain. Any rain that we pick up through the first part of the day tomorrow will likely add up to less than 1/10 of an inch of rain. So this is nothing that's going to help us out with our drought situation. Unfortunately, I do wish I had better news in that regard. Any rain chance drops out of the forecast after lunchtime, and then we'll be watching for skies to clear out late tomorrow afternoon, early tomorrow evening. Again, that clearing plays a part in the widespread freeze Saturday morning. So there's a lot going on with your Friday. Got graphics just like this on KSAT.com and on the KSAT Weather Authority app. If you want to save it to your phone, share it with friends and family who may be a bit surprised by this big change in our weather coming tomorrow. Weekend mornings will be cold, afternoons not too bad with plenty of sun. Guys.
All right. Thank you, Katie.
In case you missed it, coming up next. Here's today's In Case You Missed It.
Good morning. It is Thursday. It is March 10th.
San Antonio police are still investigating a shooting on the northwest side, and it involves a visiting basketball team from Dallas. Officers say someone brought a gun onto the charter bus after practice. A woman who is a trainer with a team was shot in the ankle, but NISD says none of the students were involved in the incident.
According to Chief Willie McManus, this all happened just before 8 this morning. We're told a man believed to be in his mid-20s was shot in the parking lot while trying to get into his vehicle. Witnesses tell police they saw a man in a dark hoodie running from the scene.
Garza said that she first saw two women struggling to get out, and then after helping them, her husband went in trying to get the man out. But it wasn't until fire crews arrived there that and put the flames out that they found that man's body.
The global condemnation growing one day after a deadly Russian airstrike on a maternity and children's hospital in Mariupol. Ukrainian officials say the attack killed 3 people, including a child, and wounded 17 others. In an on-camera statement, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov confirmed his military was responsible for the attack on the hospital, but claimed it was really a base for Ukrainian radicals. Hours later, a new story. Russia's defense minister said Russian troops were not responsible and claimed the hospital bombing was staged.
Michael Martinez and his wife both commute to work.
Now it's about 100 bucks a piece, just going back and forth.
How long can you do that?
Not that long.
Here's math that will sting your wallet. If you get 25 miles to the gallon, gas is costing you nearly $1 for every 6 miles you drive.
All right, one more look at the forecast. So there's a lot going on here. Tonight, the only prep you would need to do is for the wind tomorrow. So secure any outdoor decor or light furniture. Friday night, that's when we prep for the freeze Saturday morning. Saturday night, just leave your prep from Friday night through Sunday morning because we are expecting another freeze Sunday morning as well. Some good news next week will provide more tranquil and seasonable weather, guys.
That's more like it.
Yes, that sounds better. Thank you, Katie. Thank you for watching the news at 6.
We'll see you on the Night Beat.